Hey, church family, I just wanted to share something God's been putting on my heart, and really this theme of some encouragement and a bit of an exhortation to my brothers and sisters, and as we think about what it means as a church to minister and to be obedient to God in this pandemic. And God has really put this idea on my heart, or this principle. And it's two-part. One is now is the time. Right now, we have so much opportunity to love and support and care for and share the good news of Jesus. Now is the time, and also we need to be open. We need to be open. In particular, we need to be creative in how we can be open and still loving and still safe and compliant in these days. And I've come to these 2 points really from reading some passage in Corinthians that I wanted to share with you. It's in 2 Corinthians chapter 6. And first, Paul is talking to the church, and he says, working together with him, recognizing that we are always working in step with Christ. Then we appeal to you, church, not to receive the grace of God in vain. For he says, in a favorable time I listened to you, in a day of salvation I've helped you. Behold, and here's this point, now is the favorable time. Now is the time. Behold, now is the day of salvation, and so we put no obstacle in anyone's way, so that no fault may be found with our ministry. We don't want to put any obstacles in anyone's way. And now is the time. And that has really struck me. And then Paul goes on and he lists all of these challenges that the church is going through, from riots and labors and imprisonments and this challenge to be truthful in their speech, and this sorrow but always rejoicing. And then in verse 11 he says, I've spoken freely to you, Corinthians. Our heart is wide open. You, church, you're not restricted by us. But you're restricted in your own affections. You're holding back. In return, I speak as to children. So simple. Widen your hearts also. And church, as we think about this, I think I just want to challenge you to think with me, to embrace that now is our time, and second, we must be open to love. So the question is, how can we be open to love? That's the question I'm going to be asking this month, and as we think about this as a church, how can we be open to love? We've been doing that on Sundays with our outdoor services. They've been so encouraging and exciting to me. We've been doing that with our counseling center, providing that. We've been doing that on our Wednesday nights with the meals that we're providing for our community, and our prayer service, and our worship gatherings, and our online presence. And you've been doing that in your neighborhoods with your families. And so we must continue to think about, what does it mean to be open to love? And so right now, I want to challenge you. Let's think about children and youth. With school starting, and our kids not having, most of our kids not having in-person classes, I want us to be thinking as a church, how can we be open to love? What can we provide for children and youth for them to experience the love of Jesus in a safe and compliant way? And I'll be honest, I have no idea how to do that. I can't run our children's ministry and our youth ministry. And if you have been following along on right now, our Cornerstone staff, we don't have youth directors. Mikhail has moved on to counseling ministry, and CJ and Peta left, and for a new opportunity, and Courtney's transitioning. And so right now, I'm challenging you. I need you, church. If you have a passion for children or youth, this is the first challenge I have, is to think about hopping onto a meeting that I'm going to be calling for champions for children and youth. That feel a stirring in their hearts to say, we need to, as a church, do something, have some sort of program, have some sort of leadership that's going to help us provide ministry and opportunities for our children and our youth beyond Sunday morning worship service. So if you are interested in that, I'm going to have some links below of a Zoom meeting that any Cornerstone person, if you feel you're a part of Cornerstone Church, you are welcome to be a part and show up to that meeting. And we're going to have some brainstorming ideas of what events can we do, what sort of weekly gathering can we do, whether they're outside or in groups of 10 or less, or I don't even know. But if that's something that God has put on your heart, I would encourage you to attend those. One of those is going to be a week from Thursday for youth at 6:30, and the other one is going to be 2 weeks from Wednesday for our children. And I just, please consider. And whatever the case may be, ask yourself if this is our time as a church to continue to open up our hearts, to be open to love. What is the Spirit of God speaking into you? How can you be open to love right now? Now is the time. In closing, I just want to share this passage in Isaiah that's really stirred up in me as well. In Isaiah chapter 40, verses 18 and 19, the prophet Isaiah is speaking to Israel, and he says, "Remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the deserts. Now is the time. Open wide your hearts." Pray with me about how we can be doing this as a church. Thank you, brothers and sisters. I'm looking forward to seeing what God has in store for us. Grace and peace to you.